Okay, the other packet seems thick, seems like it has a lot of problems, but they go very quickly, rapidly. Now, you might have done this in middle school, I don't know. You have to find the value of each root, okay? A root means a radical, okay? I'm going to start using that term. A root and a radical mean the same thing. You need to figure out what that equals a number. You got to figure out what the number is. Now, it's a 2, so that means it's like a square root. So that means what used as a factor twice, it's got to be the same number, gives you 25. 1 times 1 is not it. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, so that equals 5. Okay, now the radical is a 3, so it's a cubed root. Okay, that means what times what again equals 125. Well, it wouldn't be 1. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 would be 64. Want to bet? Yeah. 5 times 5 times 5. Cha-ching. So this is equal to 5. It's basically what to the third power equals 125. It's like the reverse of an exponent. Okay, the fourth root of 16. That means what times what times what times what again, so 4 factors because it's a 4 equals 16. 1, 1, 1, 1, no. Boom. 2. And that's the answer's not 4. If it was a 2 right there, it'd be 4. But with a fourth root, it means what as a factor 4 times over would be 16. Okay, the cubed root of 8. What times what equals 8. Okay, 1, nope. 2, nope. Or yeah, it would be 2. 2 times 2 times 2 would be 8, so that equals 2. Okay, I want you to pause the video, please, and go to the back, this page here, do these 4. Okay, and then resume when you're ready. Okay, on the assignment, here's part 2 of 3. Rewrite in radical form. You're wondering what the heck's that mean? These things here are radicals, okay? Roots and radicals mean the same thing. What you have here, all these problems have fraction powers, okay? A fraction power is known as a rational exponent, okay? That's what that's known as. Rational exponent. Rational usually means you can write it as a fraction, okay? Here's how you convert it to a radical. First off, you need a parentheses. If you don't have one, whatever's right before the power, we put in a parentheses, okay? And then I make a radical. And the bottom number, I need a number to go inside. The bottom number tells me what to put there. It's 2. Now get rid of that 2 and don't look at it anymore. Now inside the radical, you're going to make a parentheses, put m, and what power do we have on top? It's 1, okay? Usually that you can circle that answer, it's done, or you can get rid of the 1. If you have a 1, you don't need it, but that's it, okay? Next one, the parentheses is there, so I make my radical. I'm going to put a 2 inside and forget about the 2. Then I put that parentheses in the radical, 36x to the power of 1. You don't need the 1 though, okay? So it'll be the square root of 36x. Parentheses, got to have one. If you don't have one, you take the power and what is directly in front of it, okay? Just the x. Okay, and so that's why you're going to make that, okay? You don't have parentheses, you just put a parentheses under one thing, whatever comes right before it is how that works. So we make our radical, we're going to put a 2, then we can forget about the 2 and put that parentheses inside and it'd be x to the first power. Now you can get rid of the 1 if you want. Now you're like, what about the 49? What you do is you put the 49 right in front of your radical. It means it's 49 times the square root of x. Okay, parentheses is there for me. So I make a cubed root, make the parentheses inside, and you put what's in the parentheses under that radical. To the first power, you don't need the 1 there. Okay, parentheses, you have to have one. So when I don't have one, I take the power and only the factor right in front of it goes in the radical. So my radical, the bottom number is a 4, so I make a 4 right there, the 4th root. Put my parentheses with x, and it would be to the 3rd power, okay? Put that outside right there. Now, what about the 81? You put it right in front, okay? That's what you have, 81 times the 4th root of x to the 3rd power. Parentheses, gotta have it, okay? If you don't have it, that means you apply the parentheses to just what's before the power, not the 20, okay? So I make my radical, it's going to be a cubed root of 3. And now I put my parentheses and I put a inside, okay, to the 1st power. Then the 20 just goes in the front. And you can get rid of if you have a 1st power, you can leave it if you want, I won't count it wrong. Okay, next one, parentheses already there for me, okay? So my radical is going to be a 4. And I put the parentheses, and I just put what's inside the parentheses. It has to be raised to the 3rd power. You can't get rid of a 3 though, okay? And that's it. There's nothing else outside. Parentheses, gotta have it, so right there. So we need to make our radical with a cubed, okay? Insert your parentheses, put what's inside it, just copy it down, it's y to the 2nd. Now what about the 8? Well, the 8 wasn't in the parentheses, so the 8's going to slide out here. Okay, so that's it. Pause the video and do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Okay, last part of this. Rewrite in exponent form. Okay, now you have the radical. Now you're trying to get back here to the beginning. Okay. What you're going to do is look inside the radical. Ignore the exponents, you have x, okay? What power is it to? It's to the 3rd. And then I underline the 3 and I put 4. Now it's an exponent form, rational exponent. Okay, now inside the radical you have a 3 times an x, okay? They would both be to the 1st power. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we underline them, and if I don't see a number there, I automatically put 2, okay? That's all the further I need you to go with that, okay? I know those powers would eventually become 2's. You can put those if you want, but that's all I need. In the radical, you got 27 times x. So 27's to the power of 1, but we don't multiply because it's not in the parentheses. You just drop the 1, okay? And then the 2. Then your radical, you underline each one of these and you're going to put a 3. Okay. Okay, next one. You got 16 times x, both to the 1st power, both are in parentheses, so now I do multiply unlike here. So 1 times 3 is 3, 3. Okay. Then I underline those and put 4. Okay, inside you got 64 times x to the 1st. Don't multiply because there's no parentheses. You just put the powers that are there. Then you underline each one, and it's 3. Okay, next one. You got 256 times x, okay? So 1 and 3. Don't multiply, and then you underline them, and you put a 4. Okay. Okay, you got x times y. You don't multiply, it's just 6 and 9. Then I underline them and put 3. Now you could rewrite that as x to the 2nd and y to the 3rd, but I don't need you doing that. Okay. Can if you want. And then in here we got 81 multiplied by x. So the 1st, but we don't multiply because it's just a 1 and a 2, no parentheses. Okay. underline them each, and we put a 4 underneath because that's the radical degree.